What's up, everybody? Big Hurt, Prison Talk live stream. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody got to do something fun over the weekend and enjoy themselves. Here at Fresh Out, we keep it moving. We shot a couple of interviews that's going to be coming out for you guys. We got Suave, the gangster of porn, Triple X. We did his interview over the weekend. So he'll be having an interview coming up on our series real soon. Shout out to Suave. We did an interview with Numbskull from the Loonies. You know what I mean? He was nice enough to give us an interview. So we knocked his interview out, which was a pleasure, was a really good interview. So that'll be coming out in the near future. And we wrapped up our first TV ready episode that'll be going to the network. So look forward to that. That's a big project we've been working on for the last couple months. And like I said, we've been really pushing to get this show picked up by a network so that we could, give it to you how you guys deserve. Top quality, no bullshit, the real. If you haven't checked out our website, check out our website. It's www.freshoutseries.com. Check it out. Let us know what you think. We got clothing on there. The Coochie Assassin t-shirts. If you haven't ordered them, you need to go ahead and order you one. They're available for sale now. Coochie Assassin. If you're about that, assassinating Coochie. Anyways, we got the Coochie Assassin shirts on there. We got some other shirts on there. We got hats. We got private consulting for those who need one-on-one conversations with Big Herc for a small fee. We can make it happen so you can be ready when you go up in there. You don't get them cheeks busted. You know what I mean? Or get your wig split. If you haven't subscribed to our Instagram or our Twitter, man, check it out. Fresh Out Series on Instagram and Twitter. I'll be kicking a lot of fresh shit on there. Also, I got my own personal, Big Herc 916. I'll be dropping a lot of game on there also. You know what I mean? So check it out. Let us know what you think. We also got some SoundCloud, which is Fresh Out Series. And we have Patreon, but we haven't dropped any new cooking videos. We're still working on getting Chef V back on the show. He's been real busy, man. Been on from lockdown time, so I haven't been able to get him back in the kitchen. But anyways, other than that, Fresh Out Series is moving forward. We keep it. We don't like to speak on other people, other things. A lot of people want to create a beef on here and always throw something at the little comments, and I just ignore it because I ain't got time to entertain the trolls with the bullshit. It's got too much positive stuff going on, and there's no need for me to speak on somebody else's business on my channel. I'm only going to speak about my business, Fresh Out business. So that's what it's about. I'm going to do all the shout outs at the end, but today's topic is OJ got paroled. He'll be out in October, man. The juice is going to be loose. You know what I'm saying? So what you guys think about OJ? I mean, I know everybody's heard about his case. In 1995, he did a double murder. Brentwood, you know what I'm saying? His ex-wife and Ron Goldman, Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman were murdered, and he beat that murder charge, man. And then after beating the murder charge, got caught up trying to take back some memorabilia, baseball cards, supposedly personal memorabilia. Went up into a hotel room in Vegas and got set up. Basically, everybody got time but OJ. He got 33 years for some baseball cards, football cards, excuse me. He's under assumption there was some personal items in there, but they weren't there. The guys who were all involved basically all walked away, told on him. They said he had a gun. There was kidnapping charges, robbery charges, all kind of shit. So he sat in jail for 9 years. And, basically from 2008 to now, and he got parole, so, I mean, I know everybody feels, some people think, he did it, he's paying for his past crimes, but you can't punish somebody for a past crime with a new crime, that would be prejudice, that's not the legal system when you talk about the system itself. But, yeah, man, what do you guys feel about that? Jay-Z dropped a song about it too. How OJ said, white. He said what he said. I'm not OJ. How you guys? What do you guys think about that? OJ, he's one of the first Black American males to basically transcend color. You know, if he was one of the first people that wasn't looked at. He created his own, I guess, category. He became OJ. You know what I'm saying? The Jay-Z song is on 444. The new album that came out. They got a video, you know, dark nigga, light nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, you still nigga. You know what I mean? He's basically kicking game about this whole, you know, whether you light-skinned, dark-skinned, rich, poor, house nigga, field nigga, you still a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, a lot of people don't want to hear about the whole race thing. They like, oh my God, it makes their booty cringe or the hairs on their back stand up. But we live in a country that's racist, man. And a lot of people never had black friends. A lot of black people never had white friends. And a lot of white people live in fear of black people. And black people live in fear of white people because if they get caught out of pocket, they can get killed. You know, plain and simple, and be justified. So, you know, it's everybody wants to candy coat shit in this country, but it is what it is, man. You know, my stepdad's white, my brother, sister's half white, but you know what I'm saying? It exists. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Big Herc, have you ever seen somebody die? Yeah, I've seen somebody bleeding out. I've seen a motherfucker bleeding out and shit, man. But yeah, the OJ thing, you know, what do you guys think about that? Yeah, at the end of the day, we all got blood. You know, we all got blood. We're under the skin. We're all the same. And it's sad that because of your skin color, you have to be judged. I don't understand what's the big deal, man. You know, you're light skinned, dark skinned, you're black, you're white, you're Mexican, you're Asian. What the fuck, man? You know what I mean? It's like, what did you do to this person for them to have the hatred? It's so fucking ignorant, man. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, man. Yeah, the OJ thing, it is crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, somebody said, yeah, he said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. That's what he told his friends at, I think, a country club when they said some people in the country club, some white people said, there's some niggers over there. He said, they're not talking about me, I'm OJ. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out the documentary, Made in America, the OJ story, and you'll see a lot of history about not only the O.J. Simpson case, but just L.A. in general, politics, race, just everything, man. You know what I mean? Economics is pretty interesting. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, like I said, man, I'm not in denial. I know I gotta really downplay my size and my looks because people are scared to death. I go places and I see them, man. I see motherfuckers tighten up, you know what I mean? And you know, clench their booty because they're afraid I'm going to maybe do something, man. And it's for what? What are you scared of? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never just seen a motherfucking and clench my booty and been scared. You know what I mean? Somebody said OJ was a card-carrying coon. Is that right? AVG, TSV, you sound like an ignorant motherfucker. You old ignorant ass. You like talking about the bullshit. OJ's going back to the country club. Somebody said, I've never seen such racism until I came to the U.S. Back in England, I used to score my green off a Jamaican dude who was the coolest. Yeah, man, you'll see a lot of racism in America. I mean, California, I'm out here in Cali, mixing it up in Southern California, a little bit different. But you go to certain places out here, you go to certain places in Sacramento, man, these motherfuckers will harass your ass. You know, and I feel for the brothers, you know, down south, you know what I'm saying? The ones down in, you know what I'm saying, down in Mississippi, the Bible Belt, you know, where it's even worse, man, where they're targeted, because I know it's a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? I just try to think positive, man, and keep generating positive energy and putting a positive message out there. Somebody said, do you think OJ murdered his wife? Man, I've seen so much shit. I've read a lot of books about it. Seen a documentary. Man, I don't, for one person to murder two people with a knife, it had to be a vicious motherfucker, man. I mean, the amount of force, you know, Ron Goldman's, you know, her neck was damn near severed and he was, you know, just mutilated. It's like, it was a vicious attack, man. It's a vicious murder. And for that person to get in there and get out and have minimal blood, as far as, DNA evidence, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't really, I just hard to say, man. It's just a crazy case. Somebody said, what are your thoughts on a white person using the N-word that gets called a nigger by some dark-skinned blacks, sir? My thoughts on a white person using the N-word, it's not your word. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole thing, black saying nigga, slang, it's kind of like identifying with the hood or where you're from or from the block or whatever, what's up my nigga, or I know white homeboys. I got some white Crip homies. They say what's up my nigga. They from the hood, and they get passes because they've earned it. But you got white people that want to be hip. Hey nigga, what's up? And Bill Maher, you're not nigga, man. You're not from the block. You're not, what I'm saying? And then a lot of people confuse it with nigger, you know what I mean? Which used to be Niger. It used to be from the Nigerian river, and then nigger, they used it, but really nigger is not nigga. Two totally different terms, not related. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, Herc knows he did, but he ain't snitching. Nah, I wouldn't tell if I did know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, OJ, he got away with whatever he got away with, or didn't whatever he didn't do, but he still got away with it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. The bottom line, he's coming home in October. They say he still gets $300,000 a year as far as football pension that they can't touch. He might have some realities. I don't know if Hollywood's gonna fuck with him. But yeah, man. It's for a lot of people, man. It's just it is what it is, man. I mean, OJ, if he was white, would we be making such a big fuss? Would it be a big issue? I mean, would white people be upset that, what I mean? So it's a lot of twist to it, man. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just putting it out there. You know what I mean? But somebody said, you have sex? Well, I don't know what this question has to do with OJ, but it says they have sex with transsexuals. Are they gay? Yeah, you're gay. That's man butt. That's man butt with hormones. So having sex with a transsexual is gay. You know what I'm saying, partner? But if that's your business, man, more power to you. Hey, Big Hurry, don't you think OJ sentence was unfairly? I mean, 33 years for stealing his own stuff? Come on. Yeah, it was. There was some bullshit. Nevada railroaded his ass, man. Whoever set him up to go in that room, somebody paid him or something. It was a total setup. OJ, he's not street smart. He played right into the hands of some guys that basically had it out to, somehow get him some time. He didn't do no time for the double murder, man. The dude went home. You know what I mean? He fought his case and went home. So everybody was like, fuck, he should have done some kind of time. So when he got caught up in, the game, in that situation, it was like payback. Regardless if it was in Nevada, it was payback, But, yeah, he's going to get out and make some money, man. OJ's going to get out and, maybe he got some homies. He's going to look out for him, put some money on their books while they still up in there. And, he's going to get out and handle his business, man. Somebody said, Hurt, would you hang with OJ in prison? Hey, man, I wouldn't prejudice the guy. I wouldn't, try to judge him because I wouldn't want him to judge me. Somebody said, oh, Big Hurricane, you're talking about your worst day in prison and didn't you rob a bank and blah, 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 and hold the bank up hostage? Yeah, man, I made an ignorant ass mistake. I did terrorize some people. I committed an act that was basically of aggression, and I made a mistake, man. I'm glad nobody got killed in the situation. I've seen guys who did bank robberies and they killed somebody and they're doing life. So I'm fortunate nobody died, but at the same time, you make mistakes, man. You're not supposed to just crawl for the rest of your life. A lot of people, when you make mistakes, whether it be myself or OJ, a lot of people want you to be punished for the rest of your life. So when they see you out here balling, getting money, doing positive things, they're jealous. Niggas, stop being jealous because the motherfucker had ambition still. Just because I fucked up and went to the pen, You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that you have to stop being an earner, man. You know what I mean? You gotta stop making money. You know what I mean? You make mistake, you turn your life around, as long as you're not a piece of shit, you can get bread. That's what it boils down to. Kevin Jones, you've been looking at my penis again, huh? You old Peter Gazer. You know what I mean? You want to judge penis size? You're a penisologist? Old Kevin Jones. I had to give him a shout out. OJ was best friends with a guard. What's your opinion on that, Big Hurt? Hey, man, guards make friends with all kind of people, man. I mean, that's what it's about, man. You know what I mean? It's just part of, the guard probably at the same time was, intrigued with the guy, who played in the NFL, who, set all kind of records and who was a hell of an athlete. We got people still entertained by that, Somebody says, what do I think about the Bill Cosby case? Bill Cosby, man, money, man, money and the time and, the fact that it was so after the fact. But Cosby was, he was gangster with it, man. And the thing is, he wasn't the only one doing it. That's why Hef didn't want to testify at the trial. Believe me, Hef, all those guys would probably doing the same shit, man. Fucking these young girls, drugging them, taking advantage of the coochie. It's Hollywood, man. It ain't just, R. Kelly. It ain't just, Bill Cosby. It ain't, the black guys. It's the white guys, too. The Jewish guys, too. You know what I mean? All these old guys. I see it in the porn industry. Old perverts fucking young pussy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Bill Cosby. And he pissed off some people and the shit came back to bite him in the head. You know what I mean? So, no, I've never done time with any celebrities. Nobody famous. I've done, at the Lompoc USP, there was a guy there who played, I think, for the Rams and caught a crazy case. I don't know the details, but I know he was doing a lot of time. As far as celebrities, movie stars and shit like that, no, I was at USP, then a medium. Most of those guys are probably at medium and lows. You know what I mean? So I didn't really rub elbows with any celebrities at that level. Somebody said, Big Hurt, is snitching ever justified? Like snitching on a guy who killed an old man on Facebook Live. Oh, that guy right there, you just need to split his wig. Split his wig, bust his kneecaps. The dude who killed that old man on Facebook is a piece of shit. I think he committed suicide, but that's the type of dude, if you see him, don't film the shit. If you bust his motherfucking head. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. Certain people, man, it goes either way. I mean, if you're a piece of shit, that's what you got coming, man. Karma's a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yeah, somebody said, how did the Bill Cosby shit even go to trial? What happened to statute of limitation? I forgot what the statute of limitation is on rape. I think I don't know if it's rape and robbery. I don't know if it's 7 years. A murder, there is no statute of limitation, though. Who say? Somebody said, longest sentence I've ever heard of. On Lompoc, there was a dude who got stomped out. He had 5 life sentences. I don't know what the fuck he did, but he had 5 life sentences. I know another dude who had 3 lives and 100 years. Crazy cases, man. Murders on the case, all kind of shit. Yeah, man. Lompoc, man, at the USP, you got some guys in there that got crazy time, but you ain't trying to get into conversations about what they did. If somebody says that they were talking to a lifer and they were kicking all type of they're lying to you. Motherfuckers tell you, hey, man, don't be kicking with them dudes like that because you'll fuck around. Them niggas will stick you or you get caught up or they'll put a move on you. You're not hanging out with lifers. Lifers are kicking it with other lifers or they're fighting their case. The motherfuckers doing 10 years, 15 years, they're kicking it with the guys who are doing 10 or 15 years. That's just how it is in prison. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be hanging out with a lifer in his cell, unless somehow he's like an upper echelon mob boss that you owe alignment to, whatever, or you a big homie or something like that. But it ain't like the guy's going to be telling you his life story. Ain't no lifer going to tell you, the shit that he did to get 5 lives. Oh, and somebody said a youngster from Seaside had 6 lives freeway shooting. Yeah, man. It's you get 1 life off, you still got 5 more. Somebody said, "Herc, you ever beat up a chomo?" I haven't ever ran across one. You know what I mean, in the pen, because if as soon as you run across one, you're obligated to split their wig, and if you don't split their wig, then you're gonna get your wig split. So you're not supposed to, if you knowingly know about a guy who's a chomo and you don't do anything, and you've been hanging out with him, you're suspect. So that means you support chomos. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, "Did anyone try to bust your cheeks?" Nah. Everybody's fascinated with getting cheeks busted. I guess they think it's just something that goes on, regularly in the pen. You ain't seeing motherfuckers busting cheeks like that unless you on some cheek busting time. I wasn't in that circle of people who were into busting cheeks. I just know that motherfuckers get their cheeks busted. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, "Big Hurt, is the 40 Law of the Power worth reading?" Yeah, it's a good book. I mean, you still got to put practical application in. It's just another book that's dealing with psychology and people and, manipulation. Do they split wigs on guys on statutory rape cases? Statutory rape, yeah, you're subject to get your wig split because a lot of guys have daughters. And depending on the age of the person, makes it even worse. If somebody's 18, you might get a pass depending on the situation. But if you're fucking with and even then, you bring your paperwork to the yard, man. Statutory motherfucker is not kicking it like that. See, they got some yards that's all statutory rape motherfuckers and chomos. You know what I mean? Chomo is a child molester. They got people that they all hang out together. So they don't, you don't want a guy who has sex with a 15-year-old girl is not kicking it with the homies. He's not hanging out like that. Nigga, you knew better. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not cool. Brandon Davis, man, shut the fuck up. Nigga, what's your fascination with getting cheeks busted, nigga? You must be an old booty boy. You know what I'm saying? Talk about something else. Somebody said at night, "Did you ever hear cheeks getting busted?" No, I didn't hear no cheeks getting busted. You know what I'm saying? The homie said that he was next to a dude who had a celly, and it was, everybody knew that he was gay. And he said he used to hear, some smacking around and shit. And I know in YA now, motherfuckers, in the dorm, they done had motherfuckers climb in and get their cheeks busted because in YA is worse than the pen. You got young motherfuckers taking butt. You know what I'm saying? So it's vicious. Somebody said, "Explain the game in SAC." Which part of the game in SAC you want to know about? Sac County? I was in Sac County. That was back in the 90s, the early 90s. I haven't been I haven't been locked up in Sac in a long time. Somebody said there are fights in jail at night, Yeah, there's fights all the time in jail. If a motherfucker gets disrespected. Somebody says, "Do you still work out the same way you work out in the pen?" No. In the pen, a lot of more calisthenics because that's all you had to do. Pull-ups, dips, push-ups, walking squats, lunges, and shit like that. Now that I'm out, man, I got access to shit, to gyms. I got 3 gym memberships. It's different, It's like eating top ramen. I'm not eating top ramen on the street. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can eat steak now. So if I want to go to Ruth Chris or Mastro's, I'll go have me a steak, man, steak and potato. But, you adapt yourself to the environment when you're in the pen. You get out and you don't want to be a penitentiary motherfucker on the street. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a motherfucker who looks like you've been institutionalized and you're doing the same shit you did when you're in a pen. So, you want to carry it different, man. I've seen guys in the gym and I could tell they did time. I don't want to be one of the dudes that, oh man, look like he been in the pen. Which people already assume that anyways because of my size and you're black, so they assume you did something in your life, which is sad, but that's just how it is. What can I get? Somebody says, "What was the main hustle in SAC? Gangbanging, pimping, etc." When I was growing up in SAC in 88, 87, 88, 89, it was selling crack. That was a big hustle. Slanging dope. Everybody was slanging dope. You know what I mean? And then in the mid-90s, it was weed. You know what I mean? Weed, and then it went to meth. Now in SAC, I heard this is number 2 in the country for basically for prostitution, child, young prostitution. It's sad. SAC has went downhill, man. It's all bad out there, man. The economy, they closed down all the military bases, man. It's just went down the tubes. Nah, I never smoked crack, bro. I don't fuck with drugs. You know what I mean? I've only drank a few times. Let me see. Before you see, somebody said black market items. Somebody said, what are the most extravagant black market items in prison? You got guys selling glasses, like Louis Vuitton sunglasses. You know, they done got from another institution or had a guard bring them in. Motherfuckers are slanging them for big dollars because dudes be taking pictures and flossing on the yard. Shoes. If you got a certain pair of the shoes, like a pair of shoes that nobody else has in the institution, because usually you can only have like white shoes. So the shoes have to look like they came from commissary, but you got guys from other institutions like back east that come to the West Coast. If they bring shoes or certain sunglasses or certain things, certain food items, you can make money off those. People make money making custom stereos. What I mean by that is taking like a regular Walkman, making it like a surround sound setup, where you can run extra batteries so you can run it lasts longer. That's a hustle. Making a stinger, which is what they use to cook food. Stinger will heat up water real quick because some institutions, they don't have microwaves. All you have is hot water and the water runs out. So yeah, that's what's up. This guy right here, Wingham Dism, he's on some bullshit too. Yeah. Somebody else said, you fought someone in the pen. Big Herc, you ever got into it with somebody in the pen? I slapped a guy. He didn't want no problems, you know what I mean? He basically broke it down. But I never had any like major confrontations on the yard or anything like that. No major beefs with people, man. You know what I mean? I carried myself. I wouldn't try to be the toughest guy in prison. I wouldn't run around running my mouth. I wasn't acting like I was the shit. I just was keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I was just, and a lot of guys respected that. I spent a lot of time in the law library. Somebody said, do I miss the porn industry? Nah, man. To a lot of you out there, you might not know, I used to be in the porn game. My name was Big Herc. I never did gay porn, only did straight porn. A lot of motherfuckers hate. Oh, he's got a little dick. He's got this. He's dark. But, look, man, I was slanging dick, making money, the coochie assassin, Big Herc. And that's what I did before I went to the pen for the bank robbery. And when I got out, the porn industry wasn't the same. I actually did a scene from the halfway house, got connected and did a scene and, only made like $200. And I'm like, man, it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it. And, you don't want to get, I had a clean bill of health and I don't want to compromise that. So the porn industry wasn't for me anymore. You know what I mean? The money wasn't there. And the sad thing is a lot of the guys I seen that was doing porn the whole time I was down, a lot of these casts they don't have shit to show for. They're broke. You know what I mean? They're working regular jobs now after they done fucked, 2,000-3,000 women. You know what I mean? So you don't get residual income like a SAG actor, and it ain't nothing. You don't really have any benefits after the day is done. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. At the height of my porn career, I was making $500 a scene. The average guy makes probably $150 a scene. Maybe $150 to $200. The top porn guys make anywhere from $400 to $600. That's per scene. And if you got your own production, then you're making a little bit more money because you're doing multiple scenes, and then you can sell that to a distributor. You know what I mean? But women average probably 500 to 25, 500 to 15, depending on the scene. If it's some guy girl, she's hot, she might make $1,000 a pop. Gang bangs, she might make 2,500, 2,000, just depends. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm married now. I'm not in the porn game. Got a loving wife. You know what I'm saying? And I don't miss the game, man. I buy and sell cars. I flip cars. I got the Fresh Out series going. I do. I got the personal training bit. Had a clothing line. So I don't miss doing the porn thing. I'm still cool with a lot of people in the porn industry. Much love to the porn industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking anybody in it. I just I got other things I got going on. It's just it was a fun time, but I've moved on. Past that. But as far as having kids, when I hit that million, you know what I mean, which I'm working on hitting. When I hit that $1 million, maybe I might go adopt. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll adopt some kids, man. My wife is past the age of childbearing, so I can't have she can't get pregnant. But I do, eventually want to have kids, but I'm not going to have them just for the sake of having them. You know what I mean? A lot of people have kids and can't give them anything. They say, I love them. Well, you love them, but fuck, man, you put them in a fucked up position because you ain't taking care of yourself. So I wouldn't have a kid just to have it. Somebody says, how do you feel about how motherfuckers, the MFS try to turn a young kid into a bitch or some dumb shit like that because they are some kind of sick control freaks and are dumb to keep themselves out of the pen? I think it's sick, man, when people prey on young kids in general. Anybody who takes advantage of a young kid and tells them to do things that's not going to be positive or uplifting in life is a piece of shit. Young kids, man, they're so vulnerable, man, and it's like to get a kid hooked on drugs young, or to turn a kid out on sex and different things. I think that's just a sick person, man. We were all kids at some time. We were all innocent, man, and every kid deserves a positive chance at life. But that's what I think, man. Giacomo Carlos Stan, you got a dumbass question. I'm not even gonna entertain your question. But anyways, I'm gonna get a shout outs, man. Will Larson, you said I'm a pervert. I'm a pervert because I like to fuck women when I was doing porn, and because I'm married. You must be a weirdo, man. You don't like women? You don't like to eat pussy? You don't like to get your dick sucked, motherfucker? You a weirdo. Anyway, let me get the shout-outs out. There's some weirdos on here today, y'all. You got to look at the comments. Some of these cats, man, they talk about my dick size. They talk about, oh, Big Hurt, did you get your cheeks busted? Dick size, cheek busted. They're like, these guys are looking to have their, their old booty holes ringed out, man. Some of these guys, I guess they entertain themselves with the booty hole. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and get on the shout outs. Shout out to 513 Cincinnati. Shout out to B Moore. Shout out to New Zealand. Shout out to Connecticut. Shout out to Sacktown. Shout out to North Long Beach. Shout out to Richmond, California. Richtown. Shout out to Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sarasota, Florida. Shout out to Texas. Tyler, Texas. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Richmond, Vancouver. Shout out to Linwood. Shout out to the 818 to 805, Ottawa, Canada, 7113 Houston, Florida, Fairfield, Denmark, Milwaukee, Syracuse, the 416, Belgium, Argentina, Belfast, New York, H-Town, Michigan, Germany, England, Illinois, let me see, Beacon, New York, Rosemead. Shout out to all y'all. Yeah, shout out to Compton, Southgate, Virginia. Shout out to Canada. Oh yeah, we're still doing the giveaways. I forgot to tell you guys. We gave away 3 shirts so far. I'm giving away 7 more. If you do a repost of a Fresh Out tweet or post on Instagram and repost it 5 times, or do 5 different reposts, you get a free t-shirt. You shoot us an email at freshoutseries@gmail.com. Let us know that you did the repost or the tweet, the retweet, and we'll get you out a shirt. Also, if you catch me in public, I go to a lot of car shows, and you happen to, come up to me and we do a selfie, I'll hook you up with a t-shirt. You know what I mean? For those who are local. Hopefully, some of you guys might be at the Dub show in Anaheim coming up on August 13th. I'll be out there for that. You know what I mean? Walking around, kicking it. Other than that, man, much love to all y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Much love to those who like to be, assassinating coochies out there, loving your woman, you know what I mean? Just spending time with loved ones. Shout out to those who take care of their kids, who, keep in touch with their family, who pay child support, who love their parents, all that good shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the good shit. I ain't about the negative shit. Negative shit, man, is horrible. Prison, horrible. Jail, horrible. Being locked up, horrible. It's some slavery shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kansas. I seen you on Facebook. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's doing something positive. Hey, man, be about your hustle, man. People always say, oh, man, I can't do this, can't do that. Hey, I've been off the pen now since 2008. I've been hustling hard, man. Saving my little peanuts, buying and selling cars, trying to start businesses. You got to work your way up. Not everything's going to be successful, but you got to work your way up, man. And eventually you can have something nice, I set goals for myself, and I just put them to play, man. I put them to play and see what happens. You guys who are out there hustling, invest your money, man. It could be real estate. It could be a business. It could be, tech, maybe starting an app, or even, cryptocurrencies. I spoke on that before. Invest your money, be a hustler. Anyways, you guys, be about your business. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for the motherfuckers who's trying to judge your dick size. Those are the Peter gazers. Oh, you got a little dick, nigga. If you watching a porno and you're looking at the man's dick, you're a Peter gazer. So realize when you talk on the chat over here and you start talking about my dick size, nigga, you a Peter gazer. Ah! You stop looking at my Peter. Watch the broad getting blowed out, you motherfucker. All right, y'all. Shout out to the porn industry. Y'all keep on fucking out there. But I'm going to go ahead and move on with my day. I got some shit I got to do. Go make some money, make some moves. And y'all tune in for Prison Talks, man. And we're almost at 100K. So tell your people to subscribe, man. We're almost at 100K, and this shit it's going to be major. You know what I'm saying? We're turning over a new leaf. You know what I'm saying? So you guys keep tuning in. We love y'all. Fresh out. We're out.